Hey everybody, it's Modern Day Nana. Okay, we are going to start a new junk journal today. And this is probably going to be a lot of preliminaries because we got to get all our stuff together. Well, I did a few things, okay? Let me show you first. Okay, I had made a couple of junk journals that were of my Paris trip a couple years ago. So I thought, I want to make my other travel journals the same size. So I just took, this is what I've got done so far, just kind of some preliminary stuff. I took an old binder and just cut the spine off of it because it was like a little 1-inch binder. And I needed it just a little bit bigger, so I just took a piece of cardboard. Well, I needed it shorter on one side. These are 10 by 10. All these that I cut, this is all scrapbook paper I had. I'm just trying to use up stuff I've got. So I just cut these papers. Well, I didn't actually cut them. What I did was, as you can see in here, I just folded them over. Well, some of them I cut off, I guess. Okay, so I folded them over, and I pretty much did that with all of them, so we'll have to probably go in and cut some of these off eventually, but I thought, you know, let's leave the flaps on the sides, because those make good tuck spots, and little pockets on the bottom, and some on the top. But basically, so I just folded over the 12 by 12 sheets of scrapbook paper and made them all 10 by 10 size. Now the ones that are, some of them were two-sided, and that's nice. But the ones that aren't, we can use all the junk I collected on my trip to Spain, all the little ephemera, right? So I just basically grabbed a bunch, I don't even know how many I have here, and made them all to where they open up. Okay, and we have, that one's a little wider on that side, but we basically have a 10 by 10 folded piece of paper that we can then, however we decide. Now see, some of these I taped. I glued this on to the back, and then I did some taping too. Okay, so I took my paper, and some of it I cut down to 10 by, it's probably, yep, so I kept it the 12-inch. And then I cut it down to 10 because I want it to be 10 by 10 size when I'm done. So then, on the one where I have the flaps, I just took and glued. And I think we'll do some sewing in this one. But I just took and, for now, just to keep them together and to keep them nice, I just glued this down, okay, and then this one, I just folded it up this way. So you only need this fold on one side of where you're putting it together. I mean, you could do both, but I think it would make it a little too, probably a little too thick. We don't want that thickness there. So I just took and used one folded side, 2 inches, and then glued it down to this page. And then see, in these I just reinforced it with some tape. Like I said, you can use whatever you want. Tape, glue, staples. So I got a stack of these. So we've got these to work with, and then I took that binder, which I actually had from nursing school. It was like a 1-inch, so it had a little bitty spine that wasn't, you know, big enough for anything. I don't even know if that's, yeah, I guess that's an inch. And just cut the binder apart. And then I just took a piece of cardboard because I wanted it a little bit bigger than the binder was. So I think this ends up measuring, this looks a little wonky, but it's just the way I put it together. This measures 11 and a half. Now see, it's a little bit more there, but that's all right. 11 and a half by 10 and a half. Because inevitably, when I put the journal together, this always ends up sticking out the ends, which I personally don't mind that much, but you know. So one side is a little longer. See what I'm saying? So that way, when we put our spine on, in theory, I'm not saying this is going to be true of me because it never seems to be true, but the pages will stay inside of the actual book cover. That's my goal for this one, because usually they're all like hanging out, which I think is cute too. Then I just took a cereal box and I cut it down. I know this is super huge, super duper big. This is like a 4-inch spine. I'm going with it. That's going to be a big book, right? If the spine's that big. But by the time I get my stuff in, with just these papers, and this is nothing done to it, we're already at 2 3/4. So I can cut the spine down later if I need to, but I went ahead and made a 4-inch spine. Now what I'm going to do here, the way I think I'm going to do this is, I'm going to take my spine and my cover, and I just had an Amazon, this is probably Tyvek, what they call a Tyvek, and I think I will just cover the spine to make it sturdier, and then put this onto the front and the back of the book. Okay, and that will give us a nice, sturdy spine when we're all done. Okay, see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm thinking. That was the process there. So, we kind of got our basics done. I just happen to have this little, it was pink, you can see underneath. And then I just took painter's tape, and when I put the cardboard on, I just wrapped it around and around. And the cardboard really purely was just to make it a little bit bigger, because it wasn't quite big enough. Lacked about an inch. So there is the basics of the papers and the spine. Now here's my bag of stuff that I collected. I was in Spain 3 weeks, and so I just collected junk. We'll just kind of go through it. Here is a bag of candy wrappers. I thought would be cute to do something with. We could paste them all on one page. Well, we could even use this package too. And they were delicious. So let's just go through and I'll show you the kinds of things I stuck in my Save for a Scrapbook. So if you're going on vacation, you know, you'll know to save stuff. I'm a big tea drinker, so tea box, more candy wrappers, all the museums and stuff like that I went to. I grabbed a brochure, you know, of whatever, the churches I went into, Royal Palace, and see what I'm thinking is we can open these up and we can use all of our ephemera for inside of these pages that are just white. See, so that's gonna, and most of these are just white on the inside, although we can make some of them for writing, certainly. You know, just make some lines white like we did in that previous journal, the one I gave to my to-be daughter-in-law, that we finished. You can look back. That was the forest one, because they're having a forest theme, Lord of the Rings themed wedding in September. But anyway, so that's what I was thinking. We can open this stuff up and put, you know, some of it on the insides of this stuff. So anyway, yeah. Oh, look! Oh my gosh, I think this was so this is cool too. It hadn't even been a year, I guess, since I was there. This was in the cemetery that had literally, the rosemary was just trailing everywhere. But, you know, that was Madrid that I got that, and I think it was that I went to that cemetery. Anyway, so I just picked up some leaves and stuck them in here to let them dry. So that's fun. So, you know, if it's not like an endangered thing or something, you know, pick up some leaves. But yeah, so we've just got all kinds of, more than a plenty of ephemera to work with. And we were in, here's a menu of some sort. Here's a wrapper off of a pastry. I did pick up, we might just stick this in. This is just one of those nice little books. I think I picked it up in a museum. It's probably a painting of some sort. But you get the gist. Cafe Prado. Napkin. Oh look, feather I saw on the ground. I just bought some postcards. Here's a nice map of, oh, this is a map of how to get around on the metro. That is something you have to master if you're not going to have a vehicle. Oh, here, these were super duper nice. Yeah, so it was just last year I went in September of 24. This is just a whole thing of bookmarks. But those are lovely, different paintings from the Prado. There's a tuki-tuki ride, although I didn't take one. Cafe something. My Spanish is not very good, guys. Yeah, I saved my napkins. Oh, that's cute. I need to put that on my fridge. That's of the palace, which is in Madrid. Oh, God, here's another one. Magnet. Okay, I'll leave those out. Oh, here's a cute little pen. We can probably stick that in our book. Anyway, postcards of the interior of the palace. I saved bags. This this one's falling apart, but we can still get a lot of good use out of that. I saved bags from things I bought. I'm not even sure what this is. This looks like some sort of, looks kind of like a file folder almost. Just cards. Oh, look how cute. The stuff I picked up. This was just a little newspaper of some sort. That is the present King and Queen of Spain. Philip the Sixth. Philippe. Oh, here. Uh-oh, naked girls. Naked people. I won't show you those. Don't want to offend anybody. This, you guys, I don't know what in the world I'm going to do with this. El Patriot. Pearl S. Buck. This was from, I went and hunted this down. This is from this book. It was like an open, almost like an open market. Well, it was like an open, it had like an awning on it, and it said it was the oldest bookshop in Madrid. So I picked this up. I don't know what the date on it is. Let me see. There's obviously, it's all in Spanish. 1952. That's fun. The Patriot. So, I don't know what we want to do with that. If we want to tear out papers and use it. I know that's scandalous, but hey. Let's see what else we got. I just, looked around, did shopping. Oh, here's a cute little sew-on. These are just little postcards I got at a shop. See, so, oh, there's when we were in Vigo. Galicia. Now, I believe Galicia, see, where we have states here, don't quote me on this, guys, but Galicia is a region. And when you ask someone where they're from, like I would say I'm from Illinois, they would say they're from a region. So they would say they're Galatian. They're from Galicia. Okay? I don't know, there's some fingernail files in there. Sushi restaurant we went to. I had this little book I carried around, and see, I just dried some things. Oh, look how sweet that one is. Very sweet. We'll do something with those. We can, maybe we can put them in between some packing tape or something. Okay, let's see. Oh, this must have been the book I was reading at the time. Well, I should have this out and finish it up. I'm trying to write a book, you guys. It's a long story. Okay, oh, a wine cork. We can put that on our, hang it off of our spine when we finish it up. Airline ticket. More feathers. Some receipts if we want to use them. I'm not sure what this is. I think it was my brother. I think it might have been my brother trying to tell me some place to go, although this says the poors and this says the riches. So, I don't know, maybe we were just talking about the difference between the poor and the rich. Which is everywhere, of course, right? I think this must have been, I'm not sure if those were off of something, some food. Maybe it could be chocolates. And a few more things, and then our bag, which of course we can tear up and use too. Alright, so here is all of our stuff. I think what I'll do is I'll maybe get some little baggies and sort like the little ephemera and the little things we can use when we're done, when we're finished with our project, as opposed to the bigger items, right? So let's do that. And as far as this book's concerned, boy, I just, whoo, guys, you know? I mean, obviously, this book hadn't been there in that bookstore the whole time, but, well, I mean, could have been there for a while. Oh, I went to the, this was a famous place to get chocolates and churros. I think I might have done a little video on that, and it was delicious. The chocolate over there, they call it, like, chocolate. You get chocolate and churros, or if you get a hot chocolate, it's kind of a consistency between like a pudding and a drink. So it's definitely thick, and you dip your churro in it or just drink it. Anyway, boy, I don't know, guys. If you want to leave a comment, what should we do about this book? I don't know. I don't know what we could do. We'll have to decide. Okay? Alright, let me get this stuff sorted out. The littles, kind of the littles from the bigs. And we'll go from there. So, here's all of our kind of maps and bigger items. And I think, you know, we just kind of got to start at the beginning. If it's a page I really like, I thought this one was cute. It just came out of a paper pack. I don't know. I've had them forever, but you can go and you can find super cute paper packs. So I think what I'll do here is I'll just cut this off where we'll get a full page on here. How about that? We'll get a full page on this side, and we'll do I'm just gonna fold it like this. Okay, let's make sure it's as even as we can get it. And then I'm just going to tear it. And I'm just going to glue it down. Now, like I said, you could tape, you could do whatever, however you want to. I am just going to glue this. And for some page, this size longer than this one, so you know, I'm not super duper precise. If you've watched any of my stuff, I'm not super duper precise. Every once in a while I measure, but for the most part, I eye it. And like I'd said before, if I was, you know, if I was selling it, that'd be different. I am kind of a perfectionist, especially when it comes, you know, if it's something I'm giving to someone or something like that. But okay, that's a little too wide right here. That's okay. We'll just glue her down. See that? But see how easy you can start getting thickness to your. I think I'll glue this to the top. And this will be fun. So I think I had already done, I'm sure I had already done the ones. I did 2 of Paris because I was there. I went with my brother and his wife. That's been, gosh, like 3 or so years ago now. And that was a beautiful experience. And, you know, it's going to be really hard to ever top that. Might have been probably maybe not the best idea to go there first, but hey, you know. And we can put some washi tape or whatever here if we want it, although this is going to be, you know, we're going to have this stuck in our book in this crease. So see, there we go. So that's nice. I've got this little pocket here. I've just got it open right now, but we can, we'll kind of decide what we want to do with it as we move on. I just want to get this basic, you know, the basic layers down. So let's set that one aside because we can do something else down here if we want, if we feel like we need to cover it up. And I'm just going down the line. I'm not even really paying attention to what's what. Now some of these I want to keep the flap up at the top. And some of them I'll end up cutting off. But if you have all the flaps at the bottom, you're going to run into, your bottom's going to be way thicker when you're done than your top. It's gonna cause you problems. So this is where the paper came out of the paper pack. I'm just gonna cut this off. Wouldn't have to. And we'll save those scraps and we can use them for embellishments. So this has got a cute little polka dot on this side. So, you know, we could just leave this for writing, or we could certainly do some writing and some collages. If you look in that last series, that last video we did on the woodland, Lord of the Rings journal, we made lots of little collages. And this, actually, this paper would be cute to do some collages out of. So, I'll just hold back on that one. Let's see, this is Arts and Culture Museum. And it just tells about all the different things. And I'm not even going to try, guys. I would so completely butcher the language. You know, and I didn't have a problem. I guess I got a false sense of security because I went to Paris first, and pretty much everybody there spoke English. I mean, I told everybody bonjour, and oh, well, I can't even think of goodbye now. Anyway, they appreciated that, and that was easy. Merci, you know, thank you. But Madrid wasn't a big deal. It was pretty good, but then we went up to north. We went to north of Spain, and they were smaller places, and let me tell you, there was definitely a language barrier problem, you know, and that's my fault. I mean, it was fine, and I could use Google Translate, you know, but just right. It was pretty lame on my fault. Oh, there's X's here by all the ones I went to. Pretty much, I've covered a lot of them. So, see, here's the problem now. Do I want to have to glue any of this down because it's cool to see both sides of it. That's the problem I'm going to run into. Even the bag's got both sides. You know what we can do for sure is the paper, because I don't even know what they're saying anyway. Look how lovely. Beautiful. Nice looking folks. So, yeah. So, I've just got a big old mess here. Oh, this is pretty on the pink. Can you guys see here? It's way too much going on, as usual. Imagine that. Oh, that's pretty. Maybe I'll cut this off. Oh, I hate to cut off part of her dress, but it looks like I'm going to have to. So pretty. Because we want to get, obviously, the tops of their heads. I'll cut this off and we can put this on the other page. Okay. Maybe even do it like that. Let's cut this side off just to give us some more room. So, yeah, gosh, you know how it's funny how you go and you take a trip and in some ways it seems like it was forever ago, which is kind of sad. Okay. Let's just glue this down and then we can cut it off. Some of this paper, and I just mixed and matched, you know, because like I said, I didn't want to buy any. I just, you know, if I was doing something super duper special, but we're just junking here. And I like even my nice stuff, like, you know, that I'm going to save, and, you know, will have forever. I still like it chunky, to be quite honest. I just love that messy, junky vibe, and I love saving and thrifting as much as I can, and using the junk that I have, or junk that, you know, we found for cheap at the thrift store or whatever. Okay. There. Oh, that'll be pretty with the pink. Pretty in pink. Pretty, pretty Spanish princess. Okay. There. you know, I don't want it to be wrinkled on purpose. If it ends up kind of wrinkled, so be it, but I don't specifically want it that way on purpose. Okay, so we've got this, and then we can just take, I don't know why it just has Philippe's name and not hers, but we won't get into that, right? There. We'll put this sideways. Let's go ahead and glue her down. We got to start somewhere. You almost really can't second guess yourself with this stuff. You just kind of have to throw her down, and the way it is the way it is, and it's great. Okay? So there we go. So we got a good start on this. And if you've seen the other junk journals I've done, I tend to like to get a start with just laying some stuff down and then come back and embellish and do all that kind of after the fact. After we get like our bones laid down. I don't really want that to glue. I don't really want that to glue to here, and I got glue on it, so we're just going to kind of leave it, we'll just kind of leave it open. So that's a start of a couple of pages. And we can just go ahead and do some of these that I thought this was cute, of the map. Now this was just a little 8 by 10. So I'm not sure what it, oh, I know. I just made it smaller, or a 8 by 10, 8 by 11. So I just folded up to make it a 10. So it's a little wonky here, but that's okay. We could just cover every bit of this up if we want. Let's see. What are the headlines here? Oh, this is nice. It's just all about, now we've got to determine which ones we want to use though, because they're all pretty. Oh, there's them and their family. That's cute. Them and their girls. We'll have to cut some of this off if we do it this way. But I'm not really reading what it's saying anyway, so I guess we can just do that. So I think what I'll do is I'll just put glue all over this one. And just kind of, like I said, get our bones of the operation down. And then, this is fun. I mean, it's all fun, but, you know, embellishing's a lot of fun too. And honestly, the little girls were over today, and they sewed and did, well, they hand sewed, played with the crochet stuff. They worked and made outfits, because I've got some busts. You know, like some dress busts. Anyway, we were talking about the sewing machine, and to be quite honest, right now, I'm not exactly sure where it's at in this mess. But we'll get the sewing machine out, is my point. We will get the sewing machine out. This is crooked. Let's get it as straight on here as we can. Well, it just goes to show you my papers aren't 100% straight. That's all right. Okay, and I think what we'll just do is just cut her off where we have to, and that'll be that. And it'd be cute too, and I imagine I probably have some Spanish books somewhere. Or, you know, thrift stores are great for people get books to learn Spanish. Maybe not so much anymore, you know, because we have all the Duolingo and all those things now. But used to, people would get a book to learn Okay, well, why is this one so much shorter? Oh, because it was just like that 8 by 11. Okay, well, that's all right. Okay, hold on a second. Nope, that's not it. Here. This has got to be folded here. See, so already we're making these thicker, and that's going to increase, you know, what we need on our spine. It seems like an awful lot. It seems like an awful chunky book to have a 4-inch spine, but I know myself. So might as well just okay. So that's that. Well, you know, we could. This would make a nice pocket. Let's just fold this over. See, sometimes you don't have to cut all these off. You can just fold them over, and we can play with it later. There. So that's just the inside, and we can put pictures. I haven't ran any pictures off yet, but we can just, you know, we can doll it up. But for now, we're just getting our foundation. Now, see, this one is shorter because it's one of those smaller sheets, but that's okay. What I can do is I could cut this off. Okay. And then these will be obviously on 2 different parts of the book. When they get folded up and we bind them into our book, how we're going to bind them. So this page will look like this, and then this page will just be a smaller page, which works out just fine. And we don't have to do the whole page in this either, you know what I mean? But I do want to use all of this because it's just fun. And we could go ahead and just go across it, and then we could just patch it. You know, I mean, that's the fun thing about this, guys. Just do whatever you want. I didn't get any fabric out yet, but I will. I'll get my fabric container out and I'll go through my fabric. Let's put it that way. I got more than one container. I'm sure y'all know that about me. I got more junk than... Oh my gosh, the girls were here. I shouldn't tell you this. I don't even know. We were doing good, and then Mom and Dad showed back up. They had borrowed the little tiller to till their garden up, and they came back, and for some reason I tripped over the tripod that the camera's on, and fell on my behind. Yeah, it was quite a show. I don't know if I'll be sore tomorrow, or I guess we'll see. Oh boy. My daughter's like, Mom! Like, yep. That's me. Miss Graceful. Not think it matters whatsoever which side we even put down. You know, this, writing is in Spanish, and that's fun. You know, just kind of lets you know what we're about over here, what we're doing. Let me cut this down a little bit more just so we don't have all that on the... I think we'll kind of go ahead and overlap that a little bit. Finding just these little partial, this one's a little partial one too. Okay, now, we want to just put some scraps up here, or not sure, I already got glue down, so I need to do something. Oh, that's nice of the family. The palace in the background. Isn't that interesting? You know, I'm an American. I don't know if I've got anybody watching from somewhere else, but it's just, you know, it's also fascinating. I think, you know, everybody had such a fascination with the royal family, you know, the English family. I think it's probably a lot of it's because we just don't have that designation. I think it's fascinating. I mean, Princess Diana was beautiful and seemingly, from what I've seen, kind and generous, loved her kids. I mean, she seemed absolutely adorable. So easy to have a love affair with, you know, someone like that. So I'm just pasting away here, just a piddling and a pasting. I don't even think I'll cover all that up. I'll just do it right here where I have this piece of paper at. We can fill that in with something else. Okay? So we're getting a fun foundation down. I love it. And it's nice because, you know, you can get your memories down. It's like a scrapbook. It is a scrapbook. You know, it's just scrappier maybe than many. But it's still, I think these might be on both sides. Yep. This was a both-sided, so we'll leave that. Let's see. Floor plan in English. This is a floor plan of, the Prado Museum. So why don't we, hey, look at that, perfect. Why don't we just put this in here? And the outside, you know, it just has some stuff, but you know, you just have to make up your mind. And I think I have these taped down, so I guess these are not going to be pockets. These are just going to be and you don't have to, you know, you don't have to get glue on every little bitty section. So just decide, if you have something like this, just decide which side you like better. I like the one that has, it tells where the different paintings are at, it tells the different sections. I like this one better. So I'm just gonna, there's a little bit of, there's a little bit here on the top and on the bottom, but by the time we get this embellished, believe me, you won't see it. Okay? And then we could just leave this flap. Why don't we just leave this? And we could leave this as a pocket. This last little part of the map there. So yeah, you know, just decide which side you like the best and glue the other one down. Now this is one of those nice laminated maps, and I actually had to go buy this. It was like 12 bucks or something. My brother, you know what, I'm not going to do anything with this map because my brother and his wife, which is who I went with, are seriously thinking about moving to Spain. And I don't, it's not like, he's retired, it's not like they will live there forever, but he's like 67, so even if they live there a couple years, so I'm going to hold on to the map. And I'll tell you what my loose plan is, which I will take you guys along if I get to do this. If they move, there's no rhyme or reason to this. I am not trying to match the colors. I'm just going to cut this bag open. It's a nice little bag, just got it in the shop. If they end up moving there, which he is usually pretty true to his word when he decides he's going to do something. I will go, and I feel like my first trip was overseas, was to Paris, and then I went to Spain. I was in Paris the 3 weeks, and then we did Spain. They were there a lot longer. They were there 3 months. But I was there the 3 weeks. He's the kind of guy that he provides, like, he's like, hey, you wanna come to, you know, Spain? And I was like, oh, yeah. He's the kind of guy that provides a place for you to stay. I probably said this before, but it's very true. And he might go do a thing or two with you, but even like when you go to his house, he lives in Florida now, even like when we've ever gone anywhere he's lived, there'll be some food in the fridge, and he might do a few things with you, but all in all, you're on your own. You are on your own when you go to his place, and it was no different the times I went to Europe with them. So, I said all that to say, I'm pretty comfortable now, and being on my own like that. I met them over there, so somehow little Nana from the Midwest managed to get to Europe 2 times without incident. So I'm feeling pretty good now, and I'm thinking if they move over, I'm not going to cut this because I don't like the seam, how it folds. If they move over there, you better bet yourself I will be going over. But what I'm thinking is they've got a great, not only have they got a great, well, they have a great bus system. I'm not sure how the buses run. Now see, I did this one where I used both sides, the flaps. I don't know. I'm not loving that flap on here. We'll have to see what we want to do. I'm just gonna, should I just do this on one page? Maybe I should just do this on one page. And we got a fold here. Oh, but then we want to see the writing. Arrgh! We don't have to use these folds though. I'm just going to cut these folds off. Anyway, I will just, the train system's really nice. When I came back, I met them and they stayed in Madrid for a little while, I think a couple of weeks. I met them and then we all rode up to the north of Spain. Gijon, Gijon, was the name of the place that they're thinking about moving. Up on the north, where the close up to France. So then I rode back on the train and then went to the airport and caught my flight back home. I don't think I would have a problem getting on a train by myself now and going to explore all those other countries. They went while they were there, the 3 months while they were there, they went to Portugal and they went to the south of France. And like spent weekends. So it's not that I would particularly want to do that, but I'm not opposed to it. And if I need to do it alone, and that's, I don't have, I'm going to leave this for now. Then that's what I'll do. Because I'll have a great home base. And the nice thing about where they're going to move, he's pretty sure they'll move to Gijon if they move there. And that is, like I said, it is the very north of Spain. So you're super close to France, to Portugal. You know, I mean, there again, if you're in America, we're used to, we're big, you know, we're huge. There, it's like their countries are like our states, right? So when I say go from Spain to Portugal, I'm talking about basically going from Illinois to Missouri, right? Or Illinois to Indiana, you know, depending on where you're at in the state. That's nice. I'm trying to look at this map. Oviedo. Oh, here. I'll show you guys where we were at when we were in Spain. Okay, this is where they're thinking about moving. This is Gijon, Gijon. So we were, where is Madrid? Oh, maybe this is just this region. Oh, look, no, this is just the region. See how they are? See how they're split up into regions? This is just this region. So Madrid's down here somewhere. But this is the top. This is the top of Spain. The north. Beautiful. It was really, really pretty there. Well, I definitely want to keep that intact. Now, what's this? beaches and stuff. It was fun. I want to keep this intact, I think, this map part. So we can cut this out. This is cute. Just an advertisement for something, the yellow one. That's cute though. So let's just pull this off. You know, guys, you just got to get your junk out and use it. I mean, we are using this, and we are going to, this is going to be, you know, going to be fun to have this to look at. Oh, this is cute. I love this little yellow one. Love these colors. It's so cute. Oh, Gijon. Map of Gijon. That was a beautiful, beautiful town right there on the sea. Oh, that's pretty on there. Yeah, we'll save this. We'll just stick it in there. Okay. Anyway. Well, I'm just going to continue on doing this nonsense and piddling and a playing. History of Madrid. All these fun things. I'm so glad I just picked them up. I had to lug them back in the suitcase, but you know, it wasn't that big of a deal. You know, it was just a big baggie of stuff. And I had, you know, got a few souvenirs. I don't know what this is saying, so I guess I can cover it up for this side because that's super pretty. Alright, do this one and I'll let you go. Yeah. So we can talk more later if you guys got anything you want to add or questions you want to ask or whatever. Just leave it in the comments. And I will definitely get back to you on that. I'm going to save these. We can use those for all kinds of things when we embellish. Okay. Let me do this one. And I was going to try to get a cute little, just a minute thing that I put up a few little vignettes, Easter vignettes, or spring vignettes. I was going to show you just in like one of the shorts, you know. Oh shoot, I should have left that on there. Yeah. No, I don't like that. There, what if we just fold, there, we'll just put it there. And we can have this on this page. We could fold this over and make something out of it too. You know what we could do? Let's just go ahead and cut this side off. I love these double-sided ones. They're pretty. There, we can just, this can be like a whole, we could have put this on the whole. Shoot. That's what you get while you're thinking. You're fixing and a doing while you're thinking about it. We'll just make this like a open spread, and then if we want to, we can just put this in the center. Put this one in the center, so when you open it up, oh, that'll work. See what I'm saying? We can stick this underneath too. We can trim it off where we need to. We can put something else over here. I mean, it's not necessary to put anything, but hey. We can. There we go. All right, guys. We're probably just going to keep on messing with this, but you don't need to see all this. So let me get the rest of the big things glued in on some pages, and I'm going to have to get my pictures and get some pictures run off. I'll either have to do it on my printer, or I can take them in somewhere and get that done, so we have photos, because, you know, it is of my trip there. So I'll get that done, all right, and I will get back with you. Like I said, look for that short of the Easter stuff, and or the spring stuff, and that's all stuff I've done the last month or so. On Fridays, we do a craft, so come for that. And, you know, I don't have just like one thing I do. I'll be getting outside. And you can see my channel. Look at it if you want. I mean, I feel like I'm trying to go the way of like a lifestyle channel of all the stuff I like to do, which is travel, be outside in the yard, junk journal, do my crafts, do some baking, you know, things around the holidays, decorate. Okay, so yeah, just kind of, but it is all cohesive. It's all me. It's all stuff I do. It's all stuff the modern day Nana does. So I'm going to let you guys go on that, and I will see you soon. Get your junk together, and we can play together, all right? I'll see you soon. Bye.